Hello everyone there guys, and I hope that part 2 students are doing very well, because part 2 is something where apart from the help in the form of books and study material, there's a lot of emotional support that is required. So I know that the syllabus is so vast. I mentioned it once when I took the orientation last time, that the part 2 syllabus is like God's love. So if any of you know that uh, song that we used to sing in the school, that God's love is so beautiful and it's so wide that you can't get around it. It is so deep, you can't get under it. It is so high, you can't get above it. So exactly the same way, part 2 syllabus is so vast. It is actually very difficult to finish the whole portion and then to revise the whole portion. Yes, it all can happen with the appropriate guidance and everything, and eventually we all study and we all pass. But yes, for the start it really looks very difficult. Now part 2 is more about the guidelines, so you have to study the green top guidelines, which are available freely on the RCOG site. You have to study the NICE guidelines, the consent advices, and there is something called as e-learning for the trainees, which is now free, thankfully, by the RCOG side, because of the COVID and all. So you may just go through it, and that is a very good source of learning, and it also helps in your exam. So all this is the basic syllabus for part 2, as well as along with this theory, there are many SBA and EMQ books. Many of them are recommended, and almost all of them are available in the different courses that are available for part 2. So part 2 exam is, though it is a written exam, it is a little different from part 1. So apart from doing the SBAs, we also have to do EMQs here. So EMQ is actually a set of questions that you get, and then from those there are options that are available, and they may apply to any of the questions. So the option may get repeated also, or the answer may get repeated also. So this is something different, and this is where actually how you apply your guidelines, that is tested. So believe me, though part 2 looks very vast, and it looks like you are never going to finish the portion, you pass. Because in the meantime you are able to cover the portion, you are actually studying so hard, and you remember your guidelines, you solve your questions every time, you know how to apply it. Yes, but there is a strategy. Some people do the theory first, and some do theory along with SBA. I prefer to do the theory and the SBA together, but you cannot do both on the same day in the very initial of your in the very start of your studying. So you just try and finish the guidelines, 2-3 guidelines in one day, or maybe one guideline in one day, and try and solve the questions related to it on the another day. So that is how things happen. And when you come near the exam, you have to finish the guidelines, some portion of the guidelines that you have decided for yourself, and then half a day you have to keep for doing the SBAs and the EMQs. So that's how things work. You have to make charts for yourself. There is no shortcut for learning the consent advisors. Yes, there are different methods of remembering the percentages, but yes, you have to learn all of them. You have to make charts, you have to keep them on the walls, you have to read them every time, you have to keep on solving the SBAs, EMQs, you have to keep on asking questions. And yes, always I would always want to tell this thing, that however the group is available, yes, there is a part 2 group that is available for my course too, the free group, but always ask the question on the group after you have referred to the guideline. Because I feel that when you don't understand a question and you just put it on the group, you depend on others to solve it for you. Whereas if you see a question, you don't find the answer, you refer to the guideline, you find that there you could not understand why the answer is this, and then you put it in the group, you get a very different acknowledgement. I cannot tell you in words, you will realize it yourself. So keep on referring the guideline whenever you find doubts, and keep on asking doubts to each other, help your colleagues. That's the only way to finish your portion, because there are some summaries of the talks that needs to be referred, because you cannot really finish all the talks. So first 3 years of talks, that means the latest 3 years of talks are very very important, and they try and ask questions, but there are many talks from the previous years too which are very important. I have uploaded many important talks in the Telegram group that we are running, but I'll be uploading it on the page too, so that it's available for everyone, and nobody has to really keep on looking on what exactly is important and miss some important talk. So apart from this talks, the summaries of the talks that should be done by you, I would say that do not make summaries for guidelines, because summary of the guideline is not going to help you in EMQs. Every time you solve a EMQ, find a doubt, you have to refer to your guidelines. So what's the point making a summary, because they ask you questions in between the lines, and they do not ask recalls now, so they are making new questions. So it is always better to revise from the guideline itself. So keep your guideline in front and revise. Though we all are giving you summaries, I am also making the videos and giving you summaries. Keep them as a reference, and whenever you don't understand, or whenever you have less time, just listen to it. But otherwise, after you have done that, refer to your guideline, go back to your guideline, because nothing can actually replace a GTG. Nothing can replace a NICE, because there are few words there which are very important, which if in case are missed, then the whole answer is wrong, and then you mark a wrong answer there, in spite of revising all the things. So that's my concept of green top guidelines and NICE guidelines. And apart from that, for talks, you or for the e-learning for trainees which is available, you cannot just go through it every time. You have to make summary of that. You sit with strategy. So whenever you have a module, take the guidelines which are important, the green top and the NICE ones. Take the talks that are important related to that module, and take the strategy material from that. If you have a proper guideline for that, you need not go through the strategy, then you or the e-learning, you may just have to then solve the questions that are there, and that will mostly cover up maximum portion related to that module. But yes, if you don't have a guideline, for example, we don't have a guideline on amenorrhea, we don't have a green top guideline on oncology part, therein you have to refer to the strategy or the e-learning, or therein that portion from e-learning is going to help you make notes from that, and keep them as a source of revision whenever you want to finish the oncology or revise the oncology module. So that's the way to go about part 2. Otherwise, part 2 candidates are very well versed with the RCOG side, because they have given part 1 exam, and part 3 is more about the communication skills. So if you clear your part 2, you have almost cleared the elephant, and it's only the tail remaining for part 3. Yes, things are different in part 3. Maybe part 3 candidates won't agree with me, because it looks very different in part 3, but yes, there are few things in part 3. There are some tips and tricks in part 3, and once you know that, you can easily clear part 3. So but yes, part 2 is something you need to sit, you need to study. There is no shortcut for part 2. But once you clear your part 2, you realize that you have gained so much of knowledge, and you have now become a better gynecologist. That's for sure. So the part 2 again is has got postponed along with part 1 exam, and now it will be in September. I am starting the batches for part 2. There is a mock test coming up. I hope that this mock test will help you. But the course, if you want to ask me about the course for part 2, will be having module wise syllabus every week, And then at the end of every week we will be having a session where we'll be discussing few points, we'll be solving questions, SBAs and EMQs, will have a small test. And then throughout the week I'll try and ask you the questions that are related, taking some questions from e-learning, taking some questions from other books, and try to keep the group active as much as possible. I'll give you the portion at the start of the syllabus or the start of the week, so that you know the syllabus that is to be read for your week, for your module to be finished. And then you have everything in hand. I'll give you some PDF files to revise, and some videos that I keep on uploading on the page, maybe some audios in the paid course, because not everything cannot be summarized, because there are some 500 talks and 70 guidelines, and so it's actually difficult. So I may give some audios for the new talks that are coming up, and that I keep on giving on the paid course candidates. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank my part 2 candidates who are there in my first batch, because they have been really very understanding, because it's the first time I had started the course. And they have been really motivating me to tell me how to help them, because many a times we don't know what exactly is needed. So the whole batch has been really very helpful, and the whole batch is going to pass. So take it from me, I am going to come back to you to tell you that all the candidates have passed, because they are very intelligent people that I am working with. So guys, I think I have solved many of the questions related to part 2. There's someone on the door and I need to go. Thank you very much, and all the best, guys.